Hey guys, it's beautiful today. We've had lots of rain, but it's warmed up, and so we're out here. Today I'm going to be doing a sketch of Ninetales, one of my favorite Pokemon from when I used to play. It's just 3 or 4 colors and 2 or 3 layers, so super simple. And I'm going to be jumping right in with the drawing stage already done. So if you want to pause and just take the time to draw it up, you can do that. And with that, we'll jump right in. Okay, so I've already drawn out the basic outline of Ninetales here, and we're just going to be using a few simple colors and a few simple layers as well. So I'm going to be using buff titanium. You can also though use like a yellow ochre, something probably yellow, and if you wanted to mix a bit of brown in just to give it that light color. I'm using it pretty pure, so I'm going quite strong, and I'm just getting kind of a bit more here so I don't have to keep dipping back and forth. And we'll start in right away. So start up here. All of this actually can go the same color. We'll go right over the nose because we'll cover that in later. We do need to go around the eyes because those are going to be red. So I'm just introducing a little bit of yellow to the brown here, just at the top. I just wanted to bring in a little more variety. I'm trying to blend this edge here. Then we will be putting on some orange on these ends, but we can put that on right over top. So I'm just going to go right to the ends. I'm just mixing up a little bit of red and yellow to make some orange, kind of a fire color. And then my plan is to be splattering a little bit of that around the edge. So I'm going to be covering up the main part just like that. We try to get a little more. Cover up some here, do some by the tail. Down here, just make a grand old mess. And then I actually didn't really want that stuff on the tail. I was trying to miss. So I'm just going to lift up some of it, or at least blend it in. Up here too. Here we go. And I'll just put in a few more, a little bit more with this orange, a few more spots. Okay, we'll let that layer dry and then we'll tackle the second. Okay, now that first layer is dry, I'm going to be adding a little bit of yellow ochre mixed with raw umber, so kind of a yellowy brown. And we're going to be adding in shadow areas around Ninetales. So we'll start up near the top. So right up here and here. These are all kind of the bottom areas that are in shadow, right? And that shadow continues on all the way across here. Under the chin. Okay, a little bit on the ear. And then down here at the bottom of this, I don't even know what you call that, it's almost like a mane. Down here. And then there's some shadow on this leg because of where it's kind of behind. So all the way down right there. Okay, I'm just going to mix up a little more of that. Right, so we'll do some down at the bottom of this tail. And here. Might be a little on the dark side, but as with all watercolors, it should dry a little bit lighter. So, I don't know. Usually I'm have a fairly good feel for it, but every once in a while I kind of second guess myself. And this time I kind of feel like this might be on the dark side. I'm just going to add a bit of this shadow here, like that. Just because I went onto that leg and it doesn't really make sense for it to be only on one spot. Clean up some of these edges. Okay, and then I'm going to be using, I think this is Pyrrole Scarlet maybe, and then some yellow, making up a nice kind of reddish orange, maybe too red. And we'll be doing that down here on the tail. Now that is fairly watery, so it's going to be quite a bit lighter, which is probably fine. And this bottom one is kind of hidden, at least where the orange part starts is hidden. Alright, and the rest is kind of all back under there. Now I'm going to grab a tiny brush, and we'll be using that same color. Well, actually probably it'll be going a little redder. So just adding more red to the mix. We'll be doing this eye. And I'm going to leave a white space right at the back. And then I'm using Payne's Gray. You could use black, you could mix up ultramarine, burnt sienna if you wanted. And we're just going to leave a space again on the nose. Do that. Now let the tail and everything dry, and then we might add in a few more details before we add some pen in. So I decided that some of these areas are a little darker than I would like, and I figured this is, since it's such a short and simple painting, that this would be a good time to be able to show you guys some techniques for when this happens. So in order to lift this paint off and just make it a little lighter, what I'm just doing is with a clean brush with water, I'm just dipping it in the water, wiping the water off so that the brush is damp but doesn't have any paint on it. And then I am touching it back on these areas that I just want to lift up some of this paint. Now the only problem is it'll leave these edges. The outline will be a little stronger than the inside. So I'm going to try not to quite overdo it too much, just lifting out some to lighten it up a bit. Probably overdid it in those areas, and I may even have to go back and add some more in there. Okay, I'm going to add, I took in some of those areas, I feel like I took a little too much out. So I'm going to just retouch up a couple of those spots. And then I'm going to add a second layer onto the, onto the orange parts of the tail. And then we will add in our pen work. Still trying to keep that pretty light, but I just want to go over it a little more so that there's not this weird white space. Just touch this area here. That's okay. All right. the orange, I'm basically just going to take the same color that I had already mixed before and just go on the bottom here. Just do the bottom edges like that. Go maybe one more on here. All right. So some of this is still drying, but I'm going to go ahead and start the pen work. And by the time we get down to the bottom, it may all be dry. So you can use any pen. This is a waterproof pen, so I'm not as concerned, and I can actually go and draw on it and then still paint over top of it, and the pen won't be affected. But if you were doing it just with a regular pen, you can totally do that. What I suggest is just wait till everything dries, and then you can use any old felt pen or even a ballpoint pen or whatever. Whoa. It's a little hard drawing on an easel. That part is still wet, so I'm going to leave that. All right, this bottom part is almost dry. I'm going over some wet watercolor. I'll probably just leave that like that. It doesn't really matter if I don't get that edge. And I'll just go ahead and sign it, and we'll be done. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I really would appreciate if you want to see something else in the future, leave a comment. Those kind of things really help me know how to direct my next videos and what we're doing. Most of the videos that I have done have been based off of comments that I've gotten, whether it's through Instagram or YouTube or whatever. So I'd love to hear from you. Love to hear what you'd like to see, because I'd like to do what you want to do. And with that being said, feel free to drop a like, and if you haven't, subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video.